Okay, I'm making a gazebo for an elderly woman, and I'm using lumber that's available here, and so it's kind of an assortment, but I think it will work. I wanted to make an 8-foot gazebo, and the plans you see are always for bigger than that, so I kind of ad-libbed here, plus using the available lumber. What I've got here is treated landscape timbers. One in the back there is an actual 4x4 treated, and I used the manual post hole digger and dug the holes for it, and I measured straight across. Well, I found the center I wanted to work out from, and then I measured to each post, and then I measured between posts to get it equal. But we've got 8 feet across, and so I got those in. And I used a level, of course, while they were setting in the concrete, and then I added these 2x6 perimeter beams. You've got to put a 30-degree angle on them. When you set your saw, you want 30-degree angle there, and on those perimeter beams, 2x6. And then once I did that, I made a template for the top. Here, I'll be right back. I've got the template actually. Now here's the template. It's just 1x3 or 4, I think, by 3, and it's because it's light, and I put kind of a gusset on it. But I used 45 divided by 2 is 22.5 angle there, and cut the ends to that. And so anyway, I went and I'll be right back. Okay, so then there's a main beam here. It's that one there you can see, and I put plywood gussets on both sides to hold together, and then had a helper. We set that in place using measurements from my template. Then I use these ties usually to hold it in place. Now these posts here at the tops of them, you have to cut at a slant to get the 2x4 rafters to come down where you want it, right at the point where those two perimeter beams meet. And then, so once you get that in place, your main rafter with the gussets, then you take these, then you can set your the rest of your rafters, the 4 others. And I used you have an angle cut. So at the top, you just hold the piece of board against the gusset and then mark a line across your 2x4, and then you can get the angle that way. But then when you cut the board, you've got to set it at 30-degree angle on your table saw, so it goes flush to the gusset up there. And what I did, I screwed in this support there against the gusset so I could lean the top up there against it, and then while I had the top up, I forced it ahead and then put in these hurricane ties to hold it, and then went back up and put in some long screws to secure the rafter to the plywood gusset on both sides. So that's where I am now. I'm going to mark off. I'm just using lumber that was lying around, and some of those rafters there are treated, and one of them's cedar, so I think they'll work. And now I'm going to mark off how long I want these rafters to be, and then I'm going to actually put tie them together with probably 1x4s, and so I'll get doing that, and I'll be back. Okay, theoretically, you want this outer plate I'm putting on. It's 1x4s. You want them to meet at the miter. I can see on this one, there's the miter, but I've two bevel cuts, one on each side. I used a chainsaw. It's kind of crude, but it was quick. And here you can see. Yeah, I used a. So you want to measure from the outer edge of the rafters to cut your plate. I used 1x4s because that's what was available, but 2x4s is probably better. These rafters, by the way, are 2x4. I got the rafter plates in. That's where that hanger, the hammer is hanging from. And this is where you find out how accurate you were in building it, because theoretically those rafter plates should all be the same length. And I had variation of 0 to a few inches. So, but I want to say something about that. If you order a kit and everything's all pre-cut, and then you go put your posts in, and then you go hang all this stuff. Unless you built it perfectly, you're not going to fit every beam. Some of them, every piece, some of them will be too short, which means you've got to cut your own. So when you build your own like this, you can, like I did, you just custom cut each board to fit what you've got. And I can see on those kits wasting up to 30% or more of the materials because you're not exactly right, or maybe you have to go pull a post up out of the ground or something else disastrous like that. So I put in the horizontal support beams between the rafters there, as you can see. Had put a 30-degree bevel on each end. Screwed them in. I'm using screws. I haven't used nails much. And anyway, this horizontal support, I like this better. I've seen other designs where they'll bring down more rafters in between the main ones there. Then you get this big traffic jam there at the top, and you got to have all kinds of weird skinny bevels and stuff to get it all fit. So this is a cleaner, cheaper, easier design. I've put tar paper on it, and I've also put a drip edge on the edges of the plywood that extend down. We're going to use the hip method of shingling this next. A hip is where two boards meet, but not at 90 degree angle, or meet at a diagonal. I'm doing the shingling now. You can see I take the shingles on each roof panel to the hip, and then I draw a line or a chalk line from the bottom of the that rafter to the top, and snap it, and then take the shingles to that and cut them there. And then we're going to put single shingles over the hip to the top. Okay, so I'm ready to do the floor. The cheapest way is cement. I've got 8 80-pound sacks of concrete mix for $4 each. And I just dumped them on the ground, and then I smoothed it out as well as I could with that garden hoe over there leaning there. And I'm just going to sprinkle it with water from a watering can, which is going to be easier than putting it in a wheelbarrow and pouring water and mixing it with a shovel, which is my other option. So I tamped it down to get the air pockets out, and I'm ready to water it down. Well, the gazebo's been done for about a month now, and it's well used, full of clutter, but that's good. Garden tools, kitchen, cooking appliances. But there you go, 8-foot gazebo. It cost me about $250 because I had lumber lying around.